At the height of developing political dynamics in the country, President William Ruto has seemingly been thrown between a rock and a hard place as he navigates the murky political season. And in what could be an indicator that the president is cautious of repercussions that may come with any of his political decisions, the president this week met at least 60 leaders from Mount Kenya, and the agenda of the meeting was to convince the leaders that he was preparing to form a government involving the opposition.
And I think the best person who could have been consulted is that particular person who is the deputy president.
But political observers say that in forming a new cabinet, Ruto may have found an opportunity to reorganize his political game plan, targeting to be re-elected in 2027, but amidst changing political dynamics, influenced largely by the recent protests.
Is now trying to use this particular time and an opportunity to bring in opposition for preparation for his re-election in 2027.
I humbly request him to bring in the deputy president and let them sit together and craft even a better cabinet.
During the signing of the IEBC Act, the president gave the clearest indication that he was ready to form what he called a political broad-based government. But concerns have been raised as to whether including opposition to his government would be a game changer.
I will immediately engage in extensive consultations across different sectors and political formations with the aim of setting up a broad-based government.
Let him bring people who believed in his vision, who know what the better agenda is.
Bringing opposition into the government, it means you are killing the democracy, and what you are doing is that you are bringing the whole cycle together, and that is a compromise of what we call watchdog or public affairs.
We don't want to be seen to be sanitizing a regime that has fallen.
The question of whether the president would reappoint cabinet secretaries who were recently dismissed has formed part of the debate that may leave him in a quagmire. And even more is the question of if the president would give a heavy consideration to politicians or technocrats in his new selections. And political pundits argue that whichever move that he makes, he would have to be careful of the political repercussions.
There were those who are used to fight other people, brought disharmony in government. He must never allow them.
And therefore, bring people who can bring sanity into the cabinet.
Our president needs the Solomonic wisdom so that he can deal with the things he can see and the things that he cannot see.
The political class has been thrown back to the drawing board following the protests by the youth, and the president has to weigh tough options, one of which is the position of the youth in the cabinet, considering how it is perceived that they would have a huge influence in how the outcome of the 2027 vote might be.
The best thing for the president to do is to bring inclusivity of young people in his cabinet, other than bringing old guys still to his government.
Anyone with even a whim of a scandal or a corruption, scandal hanging over their head should not be brought in.
There have been demands for the president to reduce the number of cabinet secretaries from 22 to a proposed 15. But then, experts see this as an acid test for the president as he tries to achieve regional balance in his cabinet and at the same time listening to the demands of the people.
The regions that voted overwhelmingly for him will be looking to see how he treats them this time round.
Kimani Ngunjiri, K24, Nairobi.